Guys need to work out more. How we doing? Good morning. Glad to see you. Yeah, nice to be here. Hope you're having a good summer. Hope you are on a country road somewhere occasionally or a highway of some kind. You know, instead of the interstate, we love our interstate here. We have an interstate that goes all the way across our state. And you can get on that interstate and you can go from Omaha all the way out to somewhere in the middle of nowhere, right, in about 2.5 hours. You can go fast. Like you can chomp up a lot of miles on that interstate. And not that I have, but it's possible that you can do that stuff. But I think for the most part, I kind of prefer a country road. Right? There's something about that, right? The pace of life slows down. For the most part, we're on a freeway all the time, or we're in the fast lane for sure, and we're just going as fast as we can, and getting nowhere for the most part. I read about there's a family in our church, and they did this year, and I thought this was amazing. Let's see if I can find this. So in the state of Nebraska, there's this little thing called the passport, and you go around to different sites in Nebraska, and you get your passport stamped. And so the Peters family, they went 1,828 miles and 34 stops in 4 days in Nebraska. In Nebraska! So they wanted to see the big ball of twine, I guess, or something, right? And there's always these funny little stops when you get off the interstate. Like you get off the interstate, you find these really neat little places to go and do. And I think that's one of the nostalgic things, or the really beneficial things of Route 66, is you can go from Chicago to California on a highway, not an interstate. In fact, most of the people, if you travel Route 66 and you have to get on the interstate for some reason, you're not real happy about it. You just want the 2-lane road. And you want to take your time and you want to see the sights. And so for the last several weeks, we've been on a trip through the Bible, taking our time to going through that and stopping at the highlights so that we can kind of see what's going on around here. And so now we're in the New Testament. In fact, we're almost to the end. Like if this was really the Route 66, we're in Arizona right now. Like we're really getting close to California, and we'll be there in a couple of weeks, right? So that's the goal here. In 2 weeks, we'll be at the end of things, and I hope that you will join us for that. So there's another song, and we're going to do a test here to see how you do, and it's fill in the blank, and it's very, very, very easy, and you should get this. If you don't get this, you have problems. Okay, I mean you do. Like you got it. If you don't know this one, okay. So Marty, you ready? Okay, ready. All right. I want you to. So you will know this. You will know the answer in about 4 words. Almost Heaven, West Virginia. Right? You know it. Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there. Older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Okay, here we go. This is the fill in line. Take me home. Country road, right? And there is something about that, right? There is something about a country road, especially if you're going home, right? And maybe you grew up on a farm, or maybe in a small town, and there's something wonderfully, like you moved away and you're in the city now, you're doing the stuff, but when you get on that road or that country road, all of a sudden things just kind of melt away, and you take your time. And you stop at the corner, and you talk to a few folks, and you see the people, and you just kind of slow your pace down. And so that's what our hope is today, is we're gonna spend a little bit of time on the country road today, taking our time. A lot of Route 66 is that way. It's just a 2-lane highway, and there's lots of little turns and stuff, and you don't get there very quickly. You got to take your time. And so today we're going to take our time in Luke chapter 14. Verse 15. Now, before we get there, I want to set this up. Jesus is at a party, and it's been thrown by a Pharisee. So this is a guy who's a religious leader in the community. Like he's a bigwig. He's a big shot. And in that day, if you were really good at religious stuff, you did really well. So he does really well. The Pharisees have money, and they have influence, and they have power, and they have control. And he probably has a really big house, and he's invited a lot of people to come to this, and he invited Jesus. And so Jesus goes. And this is, to me, that's interesting, that Jesus will also eat with the prostitutes, but he also will go with the Pharisee. And so he's at a party at the Pharisee's house, and there's a courtyard typically where you have your party, and people can go into the courtyard and look around. They just can't eat the food and drink the wine, right? It's just like you're not invited, but you can look. Have you ever kind of been that, like felt like that? Like you just don't quite fit in. Like you're not pretty enough, you're not popular enough, you're not powerful enough, or you're smart enough. You're just not. You can't quite. You're not a really good athlete. You just don't fit in with the crowd, and you're always kind of like on the outside looking in. You want to be there, but you can't get in. Right? They don't invite you. Maybe a kid in your high school has this big party, his parents are out of town, but you can't even get invited to that, right? You're just on the outside looking in. So you want to go, but you can't get in. And so there's a bunch of people at this event, and Jesus is there. And so there's people watching and kind of milling around. And there's a guy there that is, he needs some healing. And Jesus asked an interesting question to the folks at the party. Is it okay if we heal on the Sabbath? Now, he knew the answer. The answer would be no. We can't do good stuff. We can't do work on the Sabbath. Like, we want to help, and so the people don't even answer Jesus. They don't even answer him. Because if they say it's okay to heal, then they're breaking the Sabbath thing. And if they say no, they're not loving their neighbor. So they don't know what to say. So they say nothing. And so Jesus goes ahead and heals the guy and sends the guy on his way. And that's what they're looking at, right? So they don't even know what to do with Jesus now. Like they're all looking at Jesus. He just healed on the Sabbath in a Pharisee's house. He's poking that, right? He's just getting after it. It's like, first of all, the question was a poke, and then the healing was a poke, and they don't know what to do about it. And so Jesus says, hey, in fact, he notices that the people who are coming to the party are picking out the really good seats to sit in. Like they're at they're not necessarily assigned seats, but they show up early to get the good ones. Just like church, right? Those are the good ones up there, right? Sit up, but if you're going, let's say you're going to go to a really great concert. You're going to go hear Heart, and you're going to do it. And what if they said it's just open seating? You said whatever you want. What are you going to do? I'm showing up early. I'm not going to waste no time showing up late. I'm getting a good seat. I want to sit at the best place. And we all do. We all kind of want to, if you are at a wedding, where's the best place to sit? Where? Near the bar? Is that what you said? No. The best place is at the head table. You're with the bride and the groom. You're up there on the spot. You know where the worst place is? Where the dad has to sit. Just writing checks all the time. Having fun? Oh, yeah, this is great. This is a lot of fun. This is great. So Jesus says, hey, when you go to an event, don't pick out the best places for yourself. Ooh. So this is what is said, is when Jesus says this, a guy in verse 15 says, when one of those at the table heard him, he said to Jesus, blessed is the one who will eat at the feast in the kingdom of God. So he's kind of deflecting, but he's also trying to show off spiritually. Blessed are the ones who show up for what? People are like, what? Oh, yeah. In fact, sometimes we want to appear real spiritual. Like we think we get a bunch of stuff because people think we're really spiritual. Hey, you should pray. Hey, you should read the Bible. Hey, yeah, I should. Yeah, I pray better, way better than you guys pray, all that stuff. So we have to be very, very careful about trying to show off spiritually. And we do that all the time. And so this guy's trying to show off spiritually. By the way, another thing, if you are invited to a party and Jesus is there, it's a really bad idea to try to show off spiritually. You ain't going to look good. Jesus, he's had enough of this blah, blah, blah stuff. And so he says this. A certain man was preparing a great banquet and invited many guests. At the time of the banquet, he sent a servant to tell those who had been invited, "Come, for everything is now ready." But they all alike began to make excuses. First one said, "I have just bought a field and I must go see it. Please excuse me." Another one, and they're very polite. These are polite people. Another one said, "I have just bought 5 yokes of oxen and I'm on my way to try them out. Please excuse me." Still another said, and this is my favorite one, "I just got married, so I can't come." I would, but there's always nervous laughter about that one. It's like, oh no, I'm sure. Okay. Anyway, the servant came back and reported this to his master. Then the owner of the house became angry. So we should pay attention to this, because the owner of the house is God. So God's not happy. He's mad. He's angry at what? The excuses being made. Now, that should get all of our attention. The owner of the house became angry and ordered his servant, "Go out quickly into the streets and the alleys of the town and bring in the poor, the crippled, the blind, and the lame." So go out and find the people that we don't typically invite and bring them in, right? So there's all the marginalized people, all the people on the outside looking in kind of stuff. He says, "Sir, what you ordered has been done." We've already done that. And here's my favorite line of the whole thing. "But there is still room." Let that just soak just a little bit. Just let that soak. But there's still room. We'll get there. Then the master told his servant, "Go out to the roads and the country lanes." So here's the country road part. "Go to the country folks and compel them to come in so that," what? "So that my house will be full." That's great, right? That's a powerful thought. "I tell you, not one of those who were invited will get the taste of my banquet." So there's haunting words here to the religious establishment. So here's Jesus at a dinner party at a prominent religious guy, and there's a lot of people there, and they're watching Jesus in every movie. They just saw him heal on the Sabbath, so this is what? It's just crazy, right? And so Jesus tells this story about another party, and maybe it's kind of like it's unfolding right in front of them, but it's a simple story. There's a leader in the community. He's throwing a big party. It's an extravagant party. It's going to be a great party. There's going to be great food. There's going to be great wine, and there's going to be great entertainment. Like it's the party of the century. And who wouldn't want to be invited? Like you get good food. Like you're getting great food. There's fillets. There's there's mashed potatoes and gravy. That's my that is like if I know, hey, I'm going to die and I need one more thing to eat, that's it. Mashed potatoes and gravy. And then I can die happy at that moment. I could really this is great, right? So if they say, hey, we're having mashed potatoes and gravy, oh, okay, I'll be there, right? And so I'm not messing around with mashed potatoes and gravy. So he said, we got great wine. We flew it in from Greece, and we're going to have a good time. And then U2 is here, and they're singing. And Bono is on his way, and he'll be here, but he's coming, right? And so as soon as Bono gets there, the party can start, right? And so he gets there, and the guy says, "Okay, we're ready. The food is being prepared. It's going to be ready for you, and we got the wine, and it's flowing, and Bono's here. Go tell the people." And one guy's like, "Hey, today's not a good day for me. I can't. I just bought a field, and I need to go look at it." I don't know, that sounds weird. You haven't seen it before? You don't know? No, I just bought it on a whim at an auction, online. I just did it. I need to go look at. Oh, okay. And so he ain't coming. So another guy's like, I bought some yoke for my oxen and stuff, and I need to go try it out on the oxen guys. Like, what? Yeah, sorry. I'd love to come. I love Bono. I still haven't found, right? All that stuff. Love it. But maybe next year. And then the guy, I just got married. So there's all these excuses. And he goes back and he tells the owner, the guy throwing the party, hey, I'm getting no's. I'm getting a lot of no's. What are you talking about? Everybody's got excuses. Then go out and find the people, like, let's go find somebody. We got all this stuff. We're ready. Go invite the people that we have the poor and the lame and the crippled and all the people. And like, we already did, and they're coming. They're showing up, and they're drinking, and they're eating, and they're singing, and they're dancing, and they're having a good time. Oh, okay, but we still have more room. Okay, well, go out to the country road. Because there's people out on the country road we haven't even thought about or talked to, or just go out there and go find them and compel them to come in, because I want my house to be full. This is for everyone. Go get them. And so that is the instructions here. A couple of things we notice about this. This is a picture of the kingdom of heaven. And the picture of heaven in itself is, first of all, the kingdom of heaven is about joy. This is about joy. And that's usually, like, we have oftentimes a misconception about what kingdom of heaven stuff is and what heaven is like, right? And I don't know, and I do think that Christians, I think we mess with people because we're fuddy-duddy people. We're not very, like, we're got a sour thing going on, I heard it said, like, some of you guys were baptized in lemon juice. You like came out like, and that's kind of how you view, like, like, okay. So we have been guilty of making people think that the kingdom of heaven isn't about joy. We tend to think that the kingdom of heaven is more like judgment. How dare you, and thou shalt not stuff, and we hammer that pretty hard. But Jesus is like, actually, it's more like a party than that there will be a judgment, but none of you get to do that. None of you, right? It's like that. There will be a judgment, and there will be a judge, and he will do that, and it ain't gonna be fair. But it will be there. Like, it's not gonna be built. That judgment's not gonna be on a curve like you were better than most kind of stuff. There will be a judgment. And you need to get ready for that. But the kingdom of heaven is not so much like a courtroom, but it's more like a party. And there's joy there. And so as Christ followers, I hope we live a life that is full of joy, that we find joy in life and in each other, in the party. First of all, I think this is fascinating to me, is that Jesus is invited to a party. Now, if you're throwing a party, would you invite Jesus? Nope. I don't want him to see that. My crazy uncle will be there. A lot of, okay. Like all that stuff. I love the fact that Jesus is at a party. People get nervous when I come to the party. Like, the pastor's here. You want a Dr. Pepper? We got one. We got one for you, Pastor. Got a Dr. Pepper for you. When are you leaving? That's right. So I do make people nervous. I don't try to, but I do make people nervous. And I suppose that Jesus, right? Like he kind of did that. And so that's why they're saying weird stuff. That's the way they're just saying stuff. And so I love the fact that Jesus is at a party. And it's okay. It's okay. Jesus went to weddings and he went to parties and he celebrated life with people, and it was about joy. And again, sometimes I think we think of heaven as this just really boring place. Like when we get to heaven, it's just going to be boring. A lot of harp playing. No, life is a highway up here. Hey, do you want to go fishing? No, I'm a harp player. Doing the harp thing. Right? And that's why a lot of us think, well, if that's what it's like, and it's for eternity, then I don't think so. It's not for me. And again, I think we have given this misconception about what heaven's like, and also about what life is like as a Christ follower. So that life is about joy. Now, sometimes, we get a little sideways with, like, even with people who are not yet Christian. Years ago, we had this. We were at our church on 4th Street, so it was a little place, but the place was hopping. There was a lot of people there, and it was really great. And I've told this story before, and I like it. So it's my story, so I get to. So if you're like, I've heard this, yeah, you will. You're going to hear it a lot. You will, as soon as I'm done, I'm sure they'll change it. But anyway, there was this guy that came up to me and he said, "Hey, Mark, that kid's wearing an inappropriate shirt. You need to tell him to turn it inside out." I said, "Well, what is it?" And I thought maybe it said Budweiser. I don't know, because kids wear stuff, right? And he said it says "Squirrels Gone Wild." So I laughed inappropriately. Like, well, that's funny, because that's funny, right? And that's back in the 90s, probably, when the Girls Gone Wild videos were out. And if you're not I hope you're not familiar with those videos, but if you are, you're like, some of you are like, oh no. Because there was a guy that videoed girls doing inappropriate things with their bodies. And then he was plastering up there, and he didn't get permission all the time, and also some was underage. He got in big trouble. But that was kind of a rage for a while, was this Girls Gone Wild thing. And it was always weird to me that there were girls who would also be okay with that. And so that was just painful, that was what some girls thought. Hey, in order for me to whatever, I'll do that. So this kid was wearing this shirt called Squirrels Gone Wild. It was a play on words. It's funny. And I said, well, we're not going to tell him to do that. I'm just really glad he's here today. Well, that was not met real well. And he didn't like my answer. And he doesn't come to our church anymore. Go find one where you turn shirts inside out, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. But what we were saying is, like, go invite the poor and the lame and the sick and the Squirrels Gone Wild guy. Go invite those people, because they're on the outside thinking, I don't think church is for me. I don't think this party is for me. I don't fit in. I don't look the part. I don't clean up so well. I got a mess in my life. What am I supposed to do? I want to go in. I'd like to, but I don't belong. And how many of us think that? Still to this day. You invite friends to come to church with you, and here's what they'll say. Well, if I show up, probably the building will fall apart. And I always tell people, like, actually, we built it really strong. Like, it's really, really, really strong. In fact, this is one of the safest places in all of Omaha. You have no idea the stuff we had to put, the cement that we had to put into the walls over here so that we could have a preschool. Because they were rated to withstand 200-mile-an-hour winds, and it's in a basement. So, like, if we have a tornado, you can come into our preschool and we're going to play ping pong. It's so safe in there. So we build it really strong. But what I want you to know is that we want you to experience the joy of the kingdom of heaven. And you might not feel like you belong, but today, for whatever reason you are here, And you need to know this about somebody, whoever invited you to come here, is that they believe Jesus when he says, I want you to go compel them to come in. Which means urge and ask every so often and don't take no for an answer kind of stuff. And we know what this means, right? It's heaven and hell stuff. And there will be a day when the party is like, hey, we're having the party and you got to come. And maybe you're in the excuse-making place right now. I'd like to, but, right? And that's usually what we say. I'd like to come to church, but, it's my only day off, and I don't know, I work so much, and my kid's got a ball game. I can't make it because my kid's got a ball game. I'd like to, but we go to the lake house every week, and that sounds fun, but and so you might be in that excuse thing right now, like, and maybe it's even more. Maybe it's just even more like, I don't know. I don't think I should go. I don't feel like I fit in. Nobody looks like me or thinks like me or acts like me or has all this stuff. And so you might be making some excuses that way. And I'd like to think that maybe today would be the last day that you have an excuse. Like, just be done with the excuse thing. And be open to coming to a party that is for you. It is for you. The party is for you. And that is an amazing thing, because you think, because Jesus is asking you to come to the party, and he wants you there. Now, sometimes we think, well, he's probably going to take one look at me and go, what are you doing here? Can you imagine Jesus saying that? I can't. I can imagine the Christian people saying that. What are you doing here? I never thought I'd see you in a church. Right? You ever said, or maybe you thought that, like, did you see who's here today? Okay. Right? And we make these judgment statements, and we're not supposed to make any of that stuff. You probably, but we hint at it ever so often. But Jesus always says, hey, you want to come to the party? And you're like, you want me to come to the party? Yeah, I'd like for you. And that just freaks us out. Because we're the outside looking in people. You want me to come? You want me? Can I? Yeah, go help yourself. It's just mashed potatoes. Go help yourself. I can have the mashed potatoes? Yeah, you can. Oh. And maybe you're here, you're just checking things out. I would encourage you, just investigate it. Don't just brush it off like, well, hey, that was weird, or hey, that was great, or like, spend some time taking a look at this. And spend some time looking at Jesus. Just really investigate that as well. For there will be some time when the announcement goes out and there's no more excuses. And the invitation is going out for you right now to join the party. And it is for everyone. And it is for you. And it is for eternity. And it is for now. So maybe it's time to get off the fast lane. You just say this. Take me home, country road, to the place where I belong. Can you imagine that? A place like that. I can. I want you there. Let's pray. God, thanks so much for this moment. Perhaps it changes everything. It's going the wrong way. It's going hard and fast, ending up nowhere. I thought life was a party, and I went to the wrong one. Lord, I'd like to come to yours. Christ, I pray. Amen. All right. Blessings to you. Have a great week. We'll see you next Sunday.